According to a recent poll, high school students all across America, regardless of ethnicity and gender, all want to go to college more and more than they have in previous years. However, there's a huge disparity between those numbers of people that want to go to college and actual college enrollment numbers. There could be several different factors that are causing this. There could be both cognitive and non-cognitive factors. One example of a cognitive factor that could affect college readiness or student success would be self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is pretty much whether or not the student knows their own needs and are able to take the knowledge of their own needs and use that information to find the correct school for them. One of those cognitive factors could be self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is pretty much whether or not the student knows what his or her needs are, and if they do, how they use that knowledge to find the correct college that's right for them. For example, only the student would know whether or not they would make it at a big university or they need to go to a smaller university, or if they could make it at a public university or they needed to go to a private university. Only the student knows that, and using his or her information would be how much self-knowledge they have about themselves. Another cognitive factor is academic self-efficacy. That's basically the confidence that the student has in themselves to do well in school or do well on a certain project. So pretty much if you're confident in being able to do good in school, then your success rate will go up. And if you're not confident, then your success rate in college will go down. So those are a couple cognitive factors that have to do with college readiness and student success. And one non-cognitive factor would be the school's poverty level. That has nothing to do with the student themselves. However, it is proven that a more poverty-stricken school district has students that are less college ready than a wealthier school district. Another thing is life experience. If you just go to class and when you're in high school and then go back home and just do your homework and that's it, then you'll have the good enough grades to get into college, but your success rates will go down than those who do a lot of extracurricular activities, for example, like sports or other clubs and stuff. That just allows them to be able to balance when they have more things on their plate and are more likely to be able to have success in college. And another thing that has nothing to do with the student themselves, but do affect college readiness scores, would be gender. A test shown that high schoolers in Texas took a test, and the results shown that a higher percentage of males are college ready when it comes to testing and math scores, and females are more college ready. A higher percentage of them are ready than males when it comes to English scores. And then your friends make a big role too on whether or not you're college ready and you're going to have success in college as well. It is proven that you kind of surround yourself with friends that have similar interests to you and similar aspirations. So if your friends are no longer or don't want to go to college, then chances are you're gonna have similar interests as them and not want to go to college. Or if they don't really care how well they do in college, then you're not going to probably have good success either because you'll have those same values as your friends.
So these demographics show just basically where students are coming from when they first apply. So we can see a general consensus of where they're located in the Midwest region, with most of them coming from Michigan. And then we have a few stragglers over here in California and Nevada, but most of our incoming freshmen do come from the Midwest: Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, some from Pennsylvania, most coming from Michigan. Most do choose to live on campus when they come in. We have only 52 being commuters. So most of them live in the first-year suites, hence first-year suites. And then only a few stragglers live in South, and then we got some Southwest and Living Center North. So you can see the wide variety of where Saginaw Valley does put their freshmen, but in total consensus, we have them living in the first-year suites for most of the part of it. There being eight to 7 kids students in the first year suite. So, but with incoming freshmen, we do have kind of a majority being female. We have 70% of the incoming freshmen being female, and only 30% being male. With the demographics of race, we have most of our incoming freshmen being white, with a very few minority coming in, with only 1 American Indian, 6 Asian, 54 Black/African American, 16 Hispanic Latino, 21 multiracial, and 12 of them chose not to report. So we do have a kind of more side of the gender coming in, and obviously we have a majority of a race coming in. Whether that has any factor, we can look at the more stats of what that is. And then for majors and minors and all that, we only have 3 part-time students coming in for incoming freshmen, and the 3 majors that they're criminal justice, mechanical engineering, and biology, which normally people don't consider part-time, but most of our incoming freshmen do choose to be full-time students. And then we have a wide variety of majors. We have accounting, biology, computer science, and to list the name. But the most reported is our pre-nursing majors, with almost half of it being pre-major, with most of our freshmen coming in undecided. And with majors, they're most likely going to be changed. The average freshman changes it about 3 to 4 times before finally graduating. So most of these most likely will change, but that's with the normal, what they declared as in the beginning.
There are 10 measurements of students' readiness for college. The higher number, the more prepared the student is. Exceeding order of average of these 10 measurements is birth level, income level, class level, organization level, CCOL level, connect level, ASE level, INST level, test level, stress level. For the birth level is financial pressures, family responsibilities, conflicting work schedules, and limited institutional knowledge. For the income level, attachment to and positive evaluations of school. Class level, doing what's expected to meet the requirements of your course, including assignment and in-class behaviors. Organizational level, strategy for organizing work and time. CCOL level, perceived value and determination to succeed and complete college. Connect level, a general sense of belonging and engagement. ASE level, belief in one's ability to perform and achieve in an academic setting. INST level, attitudes about and tendency to seek help from established resources. Test level, general reactions to test taking experience, including negative thoughts and feelings. Stress level, tendency to feel frustrated, discouraged, or upset when under pressure or burdened by demands. For the correlation analysis, many relationships between 2 measurements variables tend to fall close to a straight line, which means the 2 variables have a linear relationship. There are significant linear relationships between organizational level and class level, INST level and class level, test level and stress level. For the test level and stress level, more difficult tests means more studying and more difficult to get good grades. Therefore, more difficult tests will give students more stress because they have to prepare more things than low-level tests and worry about getting a good grade. Therefore, there is a positive correlation relationship between stress level and test level. Organization level is the strategy for organization work and time. Class level is doing what's expected to meet the requirements of course, including assignments and in-class behavior. When students study a course, students will have the goals that they want to achieve for their courses. Therefore, it's important to organize their work and time. If they cannot organize work and time very well, they may fail to achieve the goals. For example, students doesn't organize work and time very well. He has a complex homework to do, but he just started one day before the due date and doesn't finish the homework, and then gets a 0. So when students have good strategy organizationing work and time, they will be closer to the goals that they want to achieve of the courses. So there is a positive linear relationship between class level and organization level. ASE level is belief in one's ability to perform and achieve in an academic setting before taking class. If students have confidence that they will achieve the goals, then they will do a better job. Even if they meet difficulties, they will still try their best to overcome rather than giving up. They will have a good class level because they have confidence and they will put more effort to achieving their goals. Therefore, there is positive linear relationship between ASE level and class level. East level is attitude about and tendency to seek help from established resources. Research is very important, and students need to seek useful knowledge from established resources. Attitudes is very important because seek help from established resources is not a simple thing, and it taking a lot of time and attention. So if students are not interested in seeking help from the resources, they cannot get the useful knowledge they need, which means they may fail to achieve their goals of courses. So there is a positive relationship between the Insta level and the class level.
Alrighty, as for our professional recommendations after our research, we do have a few. So the first one would be to create an environment that is less focused on only test scores, as a lot of universities, especially in this area, are really test heavy and not so much research and project heavy, which from a personal experience standpoint and from some of the literature, a lot of students will learn better while researching and doing group projects and being more hands-on learning rather than cramming and studying for tests. If we do choose to continue to be a test-heavy university, then we need to help students become more organized for their classes by holding seminars or having more meetings or more brochures or pamphlets, just more information in general, to help students, especially first-year students, become more organized and have better test-taking strategies. We could implement more senior students, whether it be junior, senior, just upperclassmen, maybe even graduate students, who are a lot more familiar with the material and have a more solid organizational structure down pat, if you will, that could help out first and second or early students with studying for exams and preparing for exams, learning how to organize the material and note-taking and all that stuff. As per colleges, or as per high schools in this area, there isn't many college preparation courses that teach you how to properly take notes or properly organize your materials or anything like that, but more or less prepare you for just the workload itself, but not really how to handle that. And the third recommendation would be to implement more test preparation centers throughout the university to ease tensions for first-year students. As with a lot of resources that the university has to offer, we do have our testing centers, we do have the tutoring center, we have the writing center. We do have good resources available, but it should be more widespread, it should be more used, if you will, and utilized by our student base. There isn't a significantly large portion of our student base that's taking full advantage of these opportunities and of these resources to succeed. I think it should be a heavier focus on preparing these first and second year students for their tests and exams and classes as they shift gears coming out of high school. The rationale for the recommendation comes from a couple different sources, with some of it being from the literature, some of it being from the data, and some of it being from personal experience. And we have some rationale from each of those three categories. The first one is from the data. The data shows that students who typically stress more over exams typically perform worse on the exam, even when they are confident in the material. So this is one of those cognitive factors that also ties back to the literature, but that the data also proves is true. So even if a student feels very confident on the data itself, if they tend to stress out over the material or tend to cram the last second, they're going to perform worse on the actual exam. The second category is the literature. And from the literature, it suggests that from also a cognitive standpoint, when a student feels less organized, they have less confidence in their abilities to perform well in the class. So again, even if the student feels confident on the material, if they're not organized in their class or organized with the material, they're not going to perform quite as well as what they could have done normally if they were a little more organized on their material. So those two tie in big to having more organization centers, more test preparation centers throughout the university to have students calm their nerves a little bit, become less stressed before their exams, and also become more organized with their material and with their notes and study guides as well. The last rationale is from a collection of personal experience, not only from a group of small individuals such as our group studying the research and studying the data, but also comes from a larger group of students that we independently interviewed, suggesting from their personal experience how they felt about this topic and this data. And from that collection of personal experience between that large set of students, they tend to feel that when they are more stressed for an exam or that they're less organized in their classes, that they will also perform worse in that class. So that proves, again, from literature, from the data, and from the collection of students, that they do tend to perform worse when they're more stressed out or when they feel less organized in their class.